guys, welcome back to the garage for another action-packed episode. You got it. We went to the track twice this weekend, and this is the first weekend for Bob to get into some competition, some good competition, side-by-side action, racing with other cars, no test passes. This is the real deal. So in this particular part of the video, this is the night before the race, and we're doing some testing because we changed some stuff around. If you remember, the boost control strategy has been changed, among other things. But these two passes on Friday night did net us a new best, both ET and mile per hour, but the 60 foot is kind of hovering around. Main reason behind that is we are struggling with keeping the front end on the ground. Terrible problem to have. Makes for cool pictures, cool videos, fun rides, but the car doesn't get any faster because you always have to pedal the gas to keep the front end down. Alright guys, it is about 6:40 on race day. We are putting in, doing the final finishing touches. Brian is here, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Look at him, he's even smiling. I guess that fool got some sleep last night or something. So it is the Contagion, how fitting is that, Brian? It's the Contagion flashlight race. Coronavirus, get it? Contagion?
Yes.
Anyways, so yeah. So we are loaded up, made a few passes last night, which you just saw earlier in the video. Did pretty good on the last pass. Now,
You must say so yourself.
right, yeah. So, well, we are getting ready to be on the road. So Friday night, we go to the track to do some testing, to figure some things out. Mainly in relation to the new boost control strategy that we're using, and with the fix on the methanol pump. The methanol pump, if you recall from the last video, we took the check valve out of it, which really turns the flow up on the methanol side. So that kind of screwed up our air-fuel ratio a little bit, and I had it looking really good too. So the first pass you're going to see is on medium boost, and the car is so rich that the air fuel is off the charts rich, and that hurt the plugs on the first pass. So you'll see a bump or a small bumble or a misfire or something when I'm racing the Buick Regal in the video coming up. And after going over the logs, looking at things, there was nothing wrong with the car. We didn't have that noise filtering setting problem coming up and all that jazz. So we changed the plugs really fast, came back around and set a new personal best right off the bat. No problem. Okay, so on the first two passes for the test and tune night on Friday night, on the last pass, you'll hear the car at the top of the track kind of lay down a little bit, and it's trying to go. But I'll refer back to the new boost control strategy. It has a little bit of back pressure in the crossover pipe. It's blowing the wastegates open, and we are constantly adding a little bit of air pressure to the top of the wastegates on further into the run to try to keep the boost up and flatline throughout the run. So that last pass, we got it figured out. But when I pulled back into the pits, it had blown out the header gaskets that we had made. Okay, now we're going into Saturday, into competition mode. We got the header gasket fixed up and ready to go for the first round of test and tune. I was going to say eliminations, but they actually had a couple rounds of test and tune earlier in the day. This kind of threw us for a loop. This is the first time ever since this car has been put together that it spun the tires. Not only did it do it once, it did it twice in a row, and we knew the track was a little bit hotter than normal, hotter than anything we had been on yet this season, and it was a little bit greasy. It was very sticky, but it was greasy and gooey, and apparently Bob does not like greasy and gooey. That's just all there is to it. So the first pass, we pull up there with the exact same settings we had in it Friday night. Nothing changed, and it spun the tires so bad that it hit the rev limiter, or very close to it, I should say, about 8,300 RPMs as soon as I let go of the trans brake. That's not good. That's hard on the motor. Car doesn't like it, and it sucks to not make a good pass. So we come back for the next pass, and I had put two 10-pound weights on the front of the car. We took that back off. We loosened the shocks and struts, and we go back for another pass with no changes. That's against the blue Corvette. Not quite sure what happens on this run, but when the guy with the flashlight waves us both in, the Corvette gets on the rev limiter, and then he takes a huge jump, and you'll see it in the video. It's not hard to see. He jumps way over the line, and the guy with the flashlight, I look at him, and I'm pointing at the Corvette, and the guy with the flashlight's going, come on, you know, hurry up. And I'm like, if this was a race, this dude's already out. Why am I hurrying? But you'll see that. Anyways, this pass against the Corvette, it spins the tires, it shakes the tires, it does a wheelie, and I almost do donuts all in one pass, and it sucked. Check it out.
Pay attention to the light. We'll also go over that. If you bump past, okay, so there's a red line. If you bump past that line more than 6 inches, you will be disqualified. If you hit the guy next to you, you will be
Just got done with the drivers meeting. Now we're headed up to hear the rules on the starting line.
Everyone in the back. Everyone hear me in the back. I hear you. Okay, cool. Okay, just remember, small tire and big tire are the only ones that can burn out past the line. We will give you a warning, but just remember, do not burn out past the line unless you're small tire, big tire. And no one in Chris Street or Daly is fast enough to burn out past the line. No, do not roll through the line unless you're small tire, big tire. Good question. Okay, the first line here is the preliminary stage. This line, you will have one of our guys or one of your own teammates bring you up to this line. Once you get to this line, your team's ready, and then Brent will bring the other guy to the other line, and from there on, he will pull you to the second line. If you have a green sticker, your team or one of our guys will pull you straight to the second.
Okay, so now we're going into the first round of eliminations, and I draw a guy that is from New York, I believe. Not from around here. I don't know the guy. Never seen the car before. He probably brought a knife to a gunfight as far as the class in general, but nonetheless, the show must go on. And we put a tune-up in the car that's kind of in between the good pass from Friday night and what we learned on the first 2 attempts to get down the track. And I expected, hello random texter, I expected it to do a wheelie, and the car leaves the line, and just instinctively I pumped the gas thinking that it's going to do a massive wheelie because I know the track's getting better, and we just kind of had to guess at the tune-up and the shocks and all that good stuff. So check out that pass coming up right about now.
Alright, we're out here at Extreme. About to make our first pass. We are paired up against the green car that is right behind us.
Behind the wheel of the Fairmont wagon.
Quite a few cars. True Street. I think there's 15 total.
Car. Oh, hey everybody, get ready with the mom. They spit stuff out of this car every round.
Okay, now it's time for the second pass in eliminations, and I draw a guy named Mark Shields, who I have seen the car many times before throughout a bunch of different races here, because the original builder, owner of the car is from somewhere around here or whatever. Anyways, Mark now lives in Missouri, or Mark being the new owner. Anyways, I know the car's fast. It's a Coyote powered, turbocharged 4i Fox. Super clean car, very nice car. Anyways, so I put pretty much everything into it that we could, where I felt safe without hurting the motor. It ended up seeing a peak of about 32 pounds of boost and probably an average of 28 or so going down the track. 32 pounds of boost out of this turbo is probably in the neighborhood of 1,400 horsepower, somewhere thereabouts. I stretched out the boost ramp a little bit because when you put more boost into it in the same ramp, it's making a lot more power a lot sooner. So I stretched it out a little bit. I took a tiny bit out of the launch and kind of just, you know, poke and hope kind of thing. And I'm here to tell you, when that 32 pounds of boost got there, you knew it. So the quick rundown of the race is I got Mark on the tree. I couldn't see him till about probably 60 or 80 feet or so, along about the time the front wheels started coming off the ground. And I felt like I had him, or it was going to be a close race. It was going to be a drag race all the way to the finish. But I had to pump the gas because, as you saw, or as you're going to see, the front wheels were way up in the air. A couple of different views, one from my camera, one from a cell phone camera. Check it out, tell me what you think. Bob was doing work. He was ready to get down and boogie. So,
All right, second round about to begin. We got the red car right here. First round is the Camaro. 968. They're checking the track for the oil down on the left lane.
Not an LS swap.
No, it is not.
I love it. Back up. Everybody, back up. That I've been talking about in the left lane coming up. Dude, mind blown. Small block Ford with a big turbo on it. Small block Ford with a big turbo in a Ford. Weird. And Fields in that beautiful
Okay guys, that is the end of the video. We had a fantastic time racing this weekend, Friday night and Saturday night both. No broken parts, car still runs, probably needs header gaskets again, but oh well, right? So, we definitely learned a lot this time again with the methanol free flowing and doing a lot more than it's done in the past. Even at 32 pounds of boost, it was only seeing 104 degrees, I think, air charge temperature, with only 20 some odd % of the injector duty on the methanol side. So it's got a long ways to go, and we're going to keep adding a little bit of methanol to it as we go through the season. So for Bob's first time in competition, and the first time for me in competition in a long time, I'm totally satisfied with how everything turned out. I couldn't have lost to a better competitor. Mark, good grief, that's loud. Mark in the red car, super cool cat. Look forward to racing him again, and hopefully the outcome is a little different. So, thanks guys. Thanks everybody for stopping by. Got to meet a few of you at the track over the weekend. I sure appreciate it. Give it a thumbs up, share, comment, subscribe, and all that fun stuff, and we will see you in the next video.